Woven in the Darkroom, Episode 2, The Sound Loom. Welcome back to Woven in the Darkroom. Before we dive in, drop a comment below and tell us where you're tuning in from. In our last episode, we uncovered the mysterious photographic tapestries inside Wisteria Hall. Artworks stitched together with film that seemed to shift over time. Faces changed, shadows deepened. Listeners, if you haven't heard episode 1, go back, you'll need the context. This week we unravel a quieter story, one without any faces, one made of silence and sound and the spaces in between. It's about a textile piece known only as the sound loom. But unlike other artworks, it doesn't just capture memory, it whispers it back to you. In 1996, a textile conservator named Dr. Eleanor Thorne began cataloging works from a closed-down facility in Switzerland, an old sanatorium turned experimental art institute. Among the water-stained sketches and warped canvases was a rolled tapestry, untouched by mold, wrapped in plastic, heavy as a person. Its label simply read Loom Study /14.3/A.S. The initials were unfamiliar even to Eleanor, but she documented it and sent it to a temporary gallery in Bern, where it was placed in storage. That's when the staff began hearing it. At first, they thought it was the pipes or the wind, but the humming always started at 11:45 p.m. every night, as if someone in the loom activated. The sound came from the woven fabric itself, a deep tonal resonance, almost like monks chanting underwater. It wasn't loud, but if you pressed your ear close to the thread, you could hear words, different words for different people. One of the archivists, Nadia, began to keep a journal. She said the tapestry whispered fragments of her childhood, smells of burnt matches, her grandmother's voice, the sound of the match striking, specific memories, long forgotten, but they came back as sound, not visuals. That's the key. The tapestry was not visual art, it was woven sound. Curious, Nadia began recording it, but none of the recordings ever played back correctly. Instead of the soft hum she heard at night, the audio files were just static, until she slowed one down to 1/14th speed. That's when she heard it clearly. You were left in the forest. She never turned around. The voice, her father's, except her father has gone missing when she was 6. Nadia became obsessed. She convinced the gallery to let her unroll the tapestry fully. The piece stretched 14 meters across, lined with dark, coiled patterns of silk, copper wire, and thread made from horsehair and magnetized tape, like cassette tape, but brittle, archaic. The copper thread hummed softly when exposed to static electricity. It wanted to be heard, and woven into the corner, barely noticeable unless the light hit it right, was a symbol, a triangle over an ear. Eleanor, the conservator, returned when she heard about the humming. She brought equipment, historians, even a physicist who studied resonance in metals. Together, they concluded something impossible. The sound loom was a textile phonograph, a kind of sound memory fabric designed not just to store sonic waves, but to play them emotionally. One sound engineer called it a tactile hallucination machine. Another claimed the tapestry didn't actually emit sound, it just unlocked what was already inside the listener's mind. The tapestry didn't speak, you spoke to yourself through it. But something changed when they moved it to a listening room for public exhibition. Visitors began reporting shared hallucinations. One woman heard the ticking of a bomb. A man smelled sea salt and heard gulls, and then began to weep uncontrollably. A child began repeating the words, "We left her in the field, she still sings." And then, a blackout. The museum lost power for 7 minutes. When the light returned, the loom was no longer humming. Its copper thread has gone cold, and Nadia, she disappeared. They found her recorder weeks later inside a nearby forest, partially buried under moss, next to a dead fox with thread in its teeth. The tape was warped, but 3 words could be made up, spoken in Nadia's voice, but in a tone far deeper. "It's still listening." What was the sound loom? Who made it? Why does it only activate at night? And why does it seem to feed on the memories we've buried? Historians now believe it may have been part of a forgotten program in post-war Switzerland, combining textile art and magnetic sound storage, a collaboration between artists and psychoanalysts, a way to externalize trauma. But others believe it was older, that it predates recording, that it was never woven by hand at all. Some even claim the fabric is not fabric, but sculpt, human, flattened, dried, spun with wire. Don't let the silence in. Sits under the thread. Hum with me. The sound loom has never been seen publicly again. It's said to be locked in a private collection in Berlin, except every few years there's a report, a humming inside a textile shipment, a security guard quitting after hearing voices behind the walls, or a child pressing her ear to a scarf in a thrift store and suddenly remembering the night her sister went missing. This was episode 2 of Woven in the Darkroom. Next week, we journey into the Negative Garden, a botanical installation made entirely of undeveloped film, where nothing grows except your reflection. If you like this episode, share it, rate it, like it, give comments, and remember, sometimes the things we bury in silence are just waiting to be woven back into the light.